Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family. And so, guys, this is our Patreon debut. So, what does that mean? That means that it's going to go and be debuted in 6 hours, 27 minutes from at this point in time, which again is going to be 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we basically watch it with a live chat room with everybody over on Patreon. You can join Patreon currently for just $1 a month, $1 menu item. Patreon themselves were nudging us, saying, your entry tier is very low compared to what most people offer. So, again, this would be a good time to join the family, as everybody that's already joined will be grandfathered in, as we are going to restructure things over on Patreon and put in some new, playlists, basically giving a lot of instruction and how to, and deeper understanding in the way energy works and consciousness works. And so, this one is going to be a good one. It's all about what the control system's going to have to offer, which is nothing in comparison to what is happening naturally. Again, about El Elyon, and the power structure there. Oh, the earth is changing so fast, and we have such grand help with us during these times. Look at this. This looks like a comet, does it not? Wow, that's curious. I wonder what comet that is. As, again, the big reveal is often comets are nothing other than ships or intelligent entities. This one seems to have stopped having... where did he go?
He just disappeared. How about that?
He just disappeared. Yeah. Oh, this is a fun time because everything is being revealed. Many of you guys might know Stefan Burns, and he was just doing a video, was this yesterday? Yeah, yesterday, about a massive interstellar visitor that has arrived and shooting straight towards the sun, as they so often do. Those things that they call comets, which, again, oftentimes they are, in fact, ships. And this one's going to be making a very close dive in towards the sun, and then we'll be basically slingshotting around, as Stefan's saying, if it survives, again, the close call to the sun. But I think a lot of times what people don't understand is when they're close calling the sun, and then we get this message that, well, it didn't survive. It did. It just jumped through the sun. It went through the sun as a portal and can be used as a portal. And this is what, all ETs for the most part that are out there in ships like this understand that.
Mm-hmm. And this was really, really interesting because when I was looking at it and reading it and understanding it, this comet carries a particular frequency and a very, very strong frequency. And it is going to be going through both Sagittarius and Capricorn, lending quite a lot of its frequency and energy to those two signs. Now, what does that mean really for people on Earth? Anyone who has Sagittarius strong in the chart, Capricorn strong in the chart, like these signs rising, or these signs with the moon in it, or these signs with the sun, these people are going to be putting off a brand new frequency on Earth. So we are at the very baby stages of starting a new way of being here on Earth. So, we look at Capricorn. What is that? That's it's like government. It's a new form of government. And I say new form because the old is going to be fading away. And I did give the prediction anywhere between 11 and 15 years to see a pretty good fade on the current government. And then Sagittarius being about law and order and having a different law on the land, and it's going to be more in coherence with earthly laws or universal laws. So these people who carry these energies in their chart are going to be given this frequency, and it's it's not that you have to have children and you're not going to learn things like you think you would in 3D. It's going to be a frequency, and you're going to be giving that frequency to other people who then, yes, will carry it on into the new world. And there's a little bit more information to go with this, but I'll talk about it in a minute because these things kind of go together. I'll give you back to Mike.
Well, the other thing is this massive coronal hole spanning a quarter of the sun's circumference. When this happens, now it's talking about the fast solar winds. They're going to race towards Earth, which can affect us in more ways than one. But there's a lot more going on here than that, because immediately Cindy got that what this is. Why is this hole there? It's expanding because many beings are coming through it. Again, the sun is a portal. So there's beings coming through it to help with our transition to a new world.
It's huge. These are beings from all kinds of different systems, and I've never seen them before. But what's very unique about these beings is they don't have a mouth. There's no mouth. It's not necessary. It's because they are so extremely telepathic. That's the only way they function. So these beings too, they will be coming back to merge with Star Family and also possibly show themselves to certain people on Earth. First thing Mike asked is, will people see them? And I said, well, some people absolutely will see them. It depends on your frequency. It depends on where you're at, where your consciousness is at. Are you awake? Are you doing the things that need to be done to raise your vibration, to raise the electrical currents in your body so you can go up and match those electrical currents of these new beings? These new beings are also going to be taking these new frequencies of Sagittarius and Capricorn, and they are going to be moving these energies and frequencies and starting to prepare the new Earth, which I thought was really, really huge. So we do have some baby steps in the right direction. Very unique. I'm sure this information, it is quite a ways out, but I think it's exciting that I can see it now, that we can see it now. We have something on the radar. There's light at the end of the tunnel. We have a lot going on right now. There's a lot of destruction, and there's a lot of mess, and there's a lot of mayhem, but we know, at least we know where it's coming from. And people are finally starting to hold other people accountable. That's something I've never seen before. They're holding them accountable to the point where things are getting mentioned in conferences to the public, and these officials saying, hey, we're hearing about the depopulation agenda. We hear you. So word is starting to get out that what's going on with this dark matrix is wrong, and people want something different.
And you were getting that this is an ancient builder race.
Oh, yeah.
I think that is huge to mention.
That's the ancient builder race that we've heard about, and that's been talked about so often. Yes, this is the information that came through first, and I didn't mention it. I didn't take notes today, so that's why I'm glad Mike is here. But these beings having an understanding, and they don't use words. So this is the first baby steps back to Silver Age, Golden Age, and then also opening up the rest of the earth. They're going to be allowed there first, and then any human that brings themselves to a certain frequency will be able to go on the other parts of the earth. And then as they move off of this quarantined part of Earth is going to start cleansing herself. So this is a very, very slow process. It has to be a slow process, but it's definitely going to be a big change and very exciting to me.
Yeah, so let me kind of recap that. What we know as Earth, what they talk to us and show us as Earth, is really only about 25% perhaps of what Earth really is. Earth is much larger than we're led to believe. This is why people believe the Earth is flat, because you're just shown basically you can relate to it as the upper portion of it, so to speak. And Antarctica is really kind of like a barrier. It's a barrier land area. And the reality is, yes, there's a lot beyond it. There's all sorts of entities beyond it that are higher vibrational. And we can't go there. If you guys remember the series Lost, remember how, they found themselves crash landed on this island. And there was this dimensional component to it where nobody could find the island, or you couldn't really escape the island. Well, that's kind of like our quarantine zone here on Earth in relation to the rest of Earth. So we have been quarantined on Earth. And in reality, the dark control matrix does not control the entirety of the planet. It controls the quarantine zone. Their control of the quarantine zone is ending for those beings that want to leave it behind. So you have to choose to leave it behind. If you embrace and continue to embrace the ways of the dark matrix and do the recommendations that they recommend, they will save you for themselves, so to speak. So, again, missing the ascension process that leads to freedom and leads to expanded consciousness and expanded reality.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So many changes, a lot going on between this comet and the sun. I thought it was really interesting that these two things are coming together hand in hand, but they belong together. They both have purpose in the awakening of humanity. And I really found this builder race, these beings, to be so very unique looking without the mouth. So that's how we are going to be able to recognize them for who they are, because they're humanoid. However, the faces come in different shapes. Like some are very elongated, some are pointed. There's different types of these builder races. I've only got a glimpse of a few of them, but there's many. No, they're quite large. So in comparison to us, they would be very large beings, and they would tower over a human. But they are going to a different part of the earth where there's a lot of different it's a different ether. It's just a different dimension. It's a different place. So it sustains their bodies, and they're going back to create that in preparation for us to move to a different era, a different time. And I think about the best way to explain this is, like Mike said, the movie Lost. If you haven't seen it, please go see it, because it's a series, and it'll help you understand what we are talking about here. And it would help you understand, like, why can't we just go to the new earth? Why can't we walk over there? And it has everything to do with our frequency. And this is why it's so important that the food that you eat, the practices that you do, are going to bring you one step further toward that new earth. Also, what the guides were telling me today is, when it comes to health, our health and our wellness, Western medicine will just continually become less and less popular, but not just less popular, but it's going to be less popular because it's less effective. On the other hand, anyone who's studying energy or on the path of energy work, the stronger you become and the more you build your energy, the more effective you are going to be. So people are really going to be seeing this, and there's going to be a lot of miracles when it comes to healing and being able to put energy into a human body and make an instant change. So that's what a lot of people would call miracles. But it's just the energy that we're moving into. So if you are a student of energy medicine, and we have a few out there, hi Jane, and some amazing women that are very strong with their energy, that are working on their energy bodies, they're really going to be making leaps and bounds. And this is the future that we're headed to. So you definitely want to be in not the Western medical system, because it's simply going to become ineffective. Even though they're giving people pills, which probably create more of a placebo effect, the problem is the what's happening after people take them, the side effects of these pills are not going to be anything near what the doctors say they're going to do. They're just going to make you sick. That's all they're going to start doing. Sorry.
Yeah. Again, usually we share these
But we're
things.
not doctors, so we
Right.
don't know.
Usually we share these things on Patreon, and then we'll share some of the important stuff out through the other channels. But we're giving you guys this info directly today, and again, inviting everybody to come join us on Patreon, especially for that next level. This is why the guides have been nudging us to now get ready to do a lot more instruction and teaching, because people are waking up and realizing, well, certain things are not working, and what will? And so, the great news is we have within us all we need to heal. That's the bottom line. It's just simply a matter of choices, and then developing your innate abilities, which again have been suppressed and even turned off in the majority of humans throughout the Dark Age, but it's not the Dark Age anymore. So again, the sun, the reason why they're terrified of the sun is because the sun is bringing the information via the light that is literally reinstating some of the abilities that have been just basically shut off by the control system in your DNA. It's being turned back on. And so, that is why all these programs are in place to, again, obscure the sun and slow down this process, but they cannot do it. They can't do it. And yet, there will be some that choose to go along with the system. And, for them, again, the hurting will continue. Yet there is going to be more and more that basically become self-autonomous. And humanity hasn't been self-autonomous. This was like another subject that I was getting in the meditation. We were doing meditation and mantras, which is what we always do, before doing these videos and getting across the important info. There's a lot to come. The changes when we leave a dark age, they're enormous. Again, our entire reality changes, and they'll give you the scientific notions that things take millions of years to change. That is not the case. Things can change very, very dramatically, very, very rapidly, and far more than most people can even begin to fathom. And again, they have a fear that they're putting out there of the sun. This is because they're afraid of the sun, because the sun is lighting up and exposing the dark matrix for what it truly is. It's also the key to everybody that has been herded into these pens, just like cattle, etc. It's the key to releasing the masses. And they fear that. They fear loss of control, and they fear their own deeds and acts and energies being exposed. So they are terrified of the sun, and they are terrified of the big CMEs that'll be rolling off the sun. But if you are on the ascension path and you are truly trying to become the best version of yourself, you have absolutely nothing to fear, nothing at all. The sun is the key to freedom.
I think that's really important. Just keep that in your heart. If when you do the right thing will happen. Just hold on to that and realize it. And, a lot of people are suffering right now, but there's a lot of other people who are doing the right thing for them. And later on down the road, this is going to pay off. And this is what we have to look forward to in a golden age and a silver age, is everyone is simply supporting everyone else and in the best way and the highest vibrational way possible. There doesn't need to be death and destruction for people to bring about the best in themselves. There is none of that. It's just simply a formation of beings coming together and helping each other stay in balance, because that's what feels right. And it's when you're out of balance in these silver and golden ages, you feel it. You feel it quick, and you make quick corrections. And this is what allows us to live such long, wonderful lives, is because we are finally in balance and we have a very clean place to be, and just a very clean environment, very clean water, very clean energy. So it's going to be a good thing. We just got to get through this yucky part. This Bronze Age is going to be a little tough.
Well, again, it's a transition period, which again can take some time. But when Cindy got that 11 to 15 year time frame, that was already a year plus in the rearview mirror. So, again, things can absolutely accelerate. There is no fear in regards to the sun again. Although you did hear her talking about cleansing, the cleansing that's to come. Well, again, if you're on the ascension path, and you're raising your frequencies, then you'll know, and, you will instinctively know what to do. And we are going to change in more ways than one. There's all these things that people have gotten in different traditions. Again, the concept of the rapture, so to speak, there is a dark version of that in a way when you look at mass abductions, but there's also a positive aspect when you're looking at frequency and people changing frequency to where they again can remove themselves from any sort of danger consciously. It's never been about dogma. It's always been about your frequency. That's the big reveal. Never about dogma. No, not at all. Dogma has been created to divide us. It's really just a matter of where truly is your heart at and what frequency is it giving off.
That's right. We have a lot to look forward to and a lot to learn, and a lot of understanding that we need to find.
As always, guys, source bless and namaste.
Namaste.